We live in a society driven by shallow concepts, such as people desiring fame and instant wealth. We're seeing more and more of this shallowness, especially on social media today. Technology isn't to blame, the people using it are. Today's darker thoughts with Nemo Corvus, we shall examine a case that happened here in Canada recently, which highlights, in my opinion, some of the dangers of social media. Heinous crimes recorded and posted online, often by the perpetrators themselves. This is not the case today. The event which we are examining happened on March 29th, 2023 in Vancouver, Columbia, Canada. That I pulled the information presented here, I will be providing links to in the description. It was on March 29th, 2023 that Paul Schmidt and his fiancée, Ashley Umali, and their daughter, 3-year-old Erica, went to Starbucks, located on the corner of Pender and Granville Streets, for something to drink. Little did they know that their lives would be forever altered in a horrific way due to the actions of not one man but two. Inside that Starbucks was a violent man, another morally bankrupt goat man. Incident that ended Mr. Schmidt's life. Another man, identified as Inderdeep Goza, not to vape around his daughter. Mr. Goza responded to this request by stabbing Mr. Schmidt to death in front of his daughter and fiancée. The patrons of this Starbucks stood by and watched the incident happen with indifference and drinking. Are we at the point as a society and watch someone be murdered and carry on as if nothing has happened? I have read accounts from medieval times of people watching people be executed while enjoying snacks and beverages. Are we heading back into an era where this is acceptable behavior? Explanation for the inaction of the Starbucks patrons could be the bystander effect. The bystander effect is defined as a phenomenon in which people fail to offer assistance in emergencies when other people are present. The implication is that someone else will alert the authorities. Infamous case of this bystander effect was the 1964 murder of Kitty Genovese, in which 21 people watched her be murdered and failed to call the police. The second villain of our tale makes his presence known at this point. The attack was filmed by a TikToker by the name of Alex Bodger. Did Mr. Bodger do the correct thing and call the police to assist the victim? No. He instead took a selfie of himself smiling gleefully while Mr. Schmidt was bleeding to death in the foreground. He then proceeded to upload videos onto the internet of the crime. As for Mr. Bodger, it is my opinion that he has serious main character syndrome vibes. A very insincere explanation for his poor actions in an interview with Global News. Character syndrome is a new concept that has arisen due to social media. It is a self-delusion of being a protagonist in an ongoing saga or story. I think he owes the family of the victim an apology in person for his lack of actions in helping the victim and his gleeful smiling taking a selfie over the victim. 2018 study done by Swansea University in the United Kingdom tracked 74 participants, 18 to 34, over 4 months. All of them showed traits of narcissism while using social media. Things that researchers discovered is that social media users get addicted to the dopamine rush. likes on the apps like Instagram and Facebook. And their study definitely suggested that people using social media develop narcissistic personality traits. Heightens these traits in people who are already diagnosed with having narcissistic personality disorder. In short, I think we are now creating narcissists. In conclusion, no clean answer on what needs to be done to remedy this, not to repeat the tragic real life story. We are creating a society driven increasingly by narcissism. It is alarming. Social media seems to be amplifying the narcissism and the attention that people crave. It is sadly a trend that I can see that will continue into the future, which is kind of sad and alarming. This is also part one of a series where we will examine the ramifications of social media. Next week, we will be doing a deep dive into how social media is stoking narcissism as well as political discord, as well as also examining the effects of tribalism driven by this phenomenon too of social media. Join us next time while we take our deep dive into it. As for now, have a good evening and take care of yourselves.